Hello and welcome to Newsweek South Asia, a program that talks about breeding of terrorism and its impact on South Asian nations. Let's begin with the headlines first. 5 Indian security personnel martyred in deadly terror attack. Modi condemns terrorism in Bishkek. Indian security forces arrested 6 Pakistani ISI informers, averting a major attack in Kashmir. Pakistan disappoints FATF, likely to get blacklisted soon. And yet another attack kills 6, while Afghan government releases over 490 Taliban prisoners. While the world is still recovering from the shock of Pulwama terror attack, Pakistan-sponsored terrorists launched a fresh attack on Indian CRPF personnel in Anantnag this week. The terrorists, who work on the commands of their leaders from Pakistan, once again targeted the Indian security forces and launched a cowardly attack on Indian paramilitary force, leaving 5 CRPF personnel martyred. The attack, which has been claimed by Al-Umar Mujahideen, a pro-Pakistan terrorist group, once again exposes Pakistan's incompetency in launching an effective crackdown against terrorists who are working under its asylum. Readers across the world possess great concern over the issue of Pakistan's state-sponsored terrorism. Therefore, in an ongoing summit in Bishkek, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi raised the issue of cross-border terrorism emanating from Pakistan, while reiterating that Pakistan needs to create a terror-free environment in order to maintain peace in the region. Here's a report.
Terrorists from Pakistan launched a dastardly terror attack in Anantnag district of Kashmir this week, killing 5 CRPF personnel who were deployed on picket duty in the region. This is the first big attack on the Indian security forces since the February 14 suicide bombing in Pulwama. The attack, although has been claimed by a lesser-known terror outfit, Al-Umar Mujahideen, but various reports also suggest Jaish-e-Mohammed's hand into it. One terrorist was also gunned down by the Indian security forces during the encounter, which broke out in retaliation to the attack. Indian intelligence agencies claim that the terrorist gunned down during the attack is a Pakistani national who had his affiliations to Jaish-e-Mohammed.
We need to compliment the CRPF for having retaliated properly to the attack which took place on a crowded street in Anantnag. When an attack takes place on a crowded street, the advantage is always with the attacker, in this case the terrorist who came in a car and also on a motorcycle. So therefore losses by CRPF had to be there because the surprise element was with the terrorist. But the brave CRPF personnel have been able to eliminate one terrorist while one is run away. But what is more important is we must understand that this battle against terrorism is going to continue for some time. Just yesterday, there was another encounter in which one terrorist was eliminated in Sopore, and almost every day 1 to 2 terrorists are being eliminated. But that still is not reducing the level of violence as far as Kashmir Valley is concerned. So as far as battle against terrorism is concerned, it is going to be a long haul, and we have to be ready for a long drawn battle against terrorism.
It's well known that Pakistan-based terror groups adopt new alliances in order to evade international sanctions. For example, Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jamaat-ud-Dawa and Falah-e-Insaniyat Foundation are all the same organization headed by proscribed terrorist Hafiz Saeed. But every time a new alliance is created, much bureaucratic effort is expended on establishing its link to the original terror group. This not only provides the terror outfit room to continue its operations under the new name, but also gives the Pakistani establishment reason to legally withhold action against the group. This back-end support to terror outfits by Pakistan establishment has drawn sharp criticism from many global leaders. As India is one of the major victims of terrorism, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while attending the Shanghai Cooperation meeting in Bishkek, launched sharp criticism on countries who support and finance terrorism and ascertained that such countries should hold accountability for their actions.
पिछले रविवार श्रीलंका की अपनी यात्रा के दौरान मैं सेंट एंटनी में के चर्च गया था। वहां मुझे आतंकवाद के उस घिनौने चेहरे का स्मरण हुआ जो हर कहीं कभी भी प्रकट होकर रोज मासूमों की जान लेता है। इस खतरे से निपटने के लिए सभी मानवतावादी ताकतों को अपने अपने संकीर्ण दायरे से निकलकर एकजुट हो जाना चाहिए। आतंकवाद को प्रोत्साहन, समर्थन और वित्त प्रदान करने वाले राष्ट्रों को जिम्मेदार ठहराना जरूरी है। एससीओ सदस्यों को आतंकवाद का सफाया करने के लिए एससीओ रेड्स के तहत सहयोग की पूरी क्षमता का इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए। भारत आतंकवाद से निपटने के लिए एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर के सम्मेलन का आह्वान करता है।
The Shanghai Cooperation Summit also saw a brief bilateral meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The two leaders had a brief discussion on Pakistan-India talks, wherein Modi raised the issue of cross-border terrorism emanating from Pakistan and highlighted that Pakistan has failed in creating an atmosphere of trust. He also added that India expects concrete action by Islamabad to create a terror-free environment for the resumption of dialogue. The bilateral talk between the two leaders holds significance because China is an all-season ally of Pakistan and the two countries need to have an understanding on counter-terrorism plans in order to maintain a terror-free environment in Asian subcontinent.
The Prime Minister recalled that he has made efforts in this regard and these efforts have been derailed. The Prime Minister did inform President Xi Jinping that Pakistan needs to create an atmosphere free of terrorism, and that at this stage we did not see this as happening as yet, and that therefore we expect Pakistan to take concrete action on the issues that India has proposed, in the areas of concern that we have flagged to Pakistan, that Pakistan should take concrete action in this regard.
The Shanghai Cooperation Summit has come in the aftermath of Pulwama and Anantnag terror attacks. Therefore, the countries participating in the summit have unanimously shown their support towards India's fight against terrorism, while Pakistan seemed to be standing isolated among the crowd of peace-loving nations.
Moving on, post-Balakot airstrike, Pakistan has made several failed attempts to revive terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. In the latest, Pakistan ISI had sent 6 of its informers to Kashmir Valley on a reconnaissance mission. Indian security forces, swift in action, arrested all of them and revealed their links with Pakistan-based terror outfits, Hizbul Mujahideen and Jaish-e-Mohammed. The move was alleged to have averted a possibility of an attack on strategic military locations in Jammu and Kashmir. A report.
Indian security forces sabotaging a major militancy plot by Inter-Services Intelligence of Pakistan arrested 6 persons who were allegedly relaying information to a colonel-level officer at an ISI cell. The 6 persons were in direct contact with their handler identified as Iftikhar and with terrorist group Hizbul Mujahideen across the Indian border.
People who have been caught recently, this is a module of 6 people handled by an ISI Colonel Arif, and they have direct links because whatever WhatsApp messages, whatever communication has been done, it has been acknowledged by the Colonel Arif from there, and it shows that these people were being handled by the ISI very well. Now this is only one module which has been unearthed.
Initially, 2 of them were arrested in May for shooting videos and taking photographs outside Ratnuchak military station in Jammu. After interrogations were conducted by Indian security forces, the duo identified as Mustaq Ahmad Malik and Nadeem Akhtar revealed that they were on reconnaissance mission tasked by the Pakistan ISI. They also disclosed information about 4 others engaged as Pakistani spies in Jammu region. Based on the information, Indian security forces arrested Saddam Hussain, Muhammad Salim and Muhammad Shafi from Kathua district and Safdar Ali from Basantgarh in Udhampur district of Jammu and Kashmir.
They are all training the people. They are always trying how to infiltrate the Indian setup. They are always trying how to convert or how to get more spies to spy on Indian forces and let them know accordingly so that they could make a plan. 9/11 was one such incident which the world acknowledges was planned and executed by the ISI of Pakistan. And similarly, even now, if you see, there are many instances where it has been caught, the boats have been caught carrying contraband, the boats have been caught carrying arms and ammunition which are being sent in by ISI, trying to infiltrate the Indian courts, trying to infiltrate the Kashmir Valley. Therefore, ISI will not stop its ways.
In their commitment to make Jammu and Kashmir a terror-free state, Indian security forces have achieved a high success rate in recent months. Over 100 Pakistani terrorists have been neutralized in the year 2019 alone. That includes the top commanders and operators working on behest of Pakistan Army and ISI.
A joint assessment by the Asia Pacific Group reports that Pakistan's compliance to act against 8 terror groups, including the Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba, has been unsatisfactory. The assessment report, which was recently shared with Islamabad, is based on last month's APG Joint Group meeting in Guangzhou, where Pakistan presented its case and provided details of all the actions it had taken in compliance with FATF directions. In response to Pakistan's unsatisfactory submissions, the report rebuffed Islamabad for its dereliction to FATF's directions and asked it to take substantial action against terror groups, or it will soon land into blacklist of FATF when the Anti-Terror Funding Organization will sit for its final meeting in September. We bring you a report.
Islamabad's bankrupt situation is on the verge of getting even worse owing to its continuous terror funding. In a recent assessment report, the international terror funding watchdog Financial Action Task Force has cleared Pakistan on only 2 of 27 action plans it was supposed to complete to escape its embarrassing and prolonged stay in the grey list of FATF.
The first meeting of the FATF in Orlando has passed strictures against Pakistan that they have not acted against the way they wanted to against Jaish-e-Mohammed, Jamaat-ud-Dawla, and therefore on the financial aspects of those groups, they have not taken full action. There's going to be a final meeting, they're in the grey list, and there is very likelihood that if they do not react, World Bank is also telling them to reduce their defense expenditure, they have not done it. The FATF has also put restrictions on them. There is every likelihood that Pakistan may go into the blacklist. When it goes into the blacklist, all finances to all these organizations will be frozen. Lots of Pakistani money will be frozen abroad by all the countries which have got this money. It will be a big blow to Pakistan.
Pakistan, which already features in the grey list of Financial Action Task Force, is under immense global pressure to act against terrorism and its funders. The review on the implementation of the FATF action plan held in February 2019 did not go well, which has increased pressure on Pakistan. In April 2019, the Financial Action Task Force asked Pakistan to reassess the operation of banned terrorist outfits in the country, while simultaneously directing it to implement a new set of constraints in its crackdown against terror funding, including documenting and regulating all gold markets.
The number of Islamics around the world are generous to fund for the Islamic. Saudi Arabia also funds a lot of money to various organizations in the form of religion, madrasas. But actually that money has gone into terrorism. Therefore, the effect of this is going to be possibly on all these groups to stop their terrorist activities. Saudi Arabia is a big donor. Muslim countries are big donors. Individual rich people also big donors because they think they're doing it for religion. But actually it has got channeled, and FATF is finding that out now after India has suffered, that this money which is going to help the religious teaching in madrasas, etc., is now finally known that is going into terrorism.
Several FATF reports in the past have revealed that Pakistan's primary sources of funding include foreign funding, drug trafficking, kidnapping for ransom, extortion and bank robbery. Even though the country is facing major cash crunch and is on the verge of getting blacklisted in the terror financing list of FATF, still it is the hub of all the possible criminal activities with terrorism on the top of the list.
If FATF blacklists Pakistan, it will be a blow to their economy. It will be a blow to the entire economy of Pakistan as unreliable, as not being able to participate. And already Pakistan is in a bad economic state. I think the dollar today is 180 rupees per dollar. Pakistan is suffering. But of course, it's got China quietly backing it, and World Bank may give it a loan because it's given it conditions that if you need $6 billion from the World Bank. But FATF blacklisting is unique in this part of the world, and it will definitely have a very, very severe effect on the economy and the morale of Pakistan.
In the past, Pakistan's actions against terror groups have been nothing more than just a token, as Islamabad is doing all it can to avoid being downgraded to the blacklist. The FATF currently comprises 36 members with voting powers and 2 regional organizations representing most of the major financial centers in all parts of the globe. Pakistan has been on FATF's grey list for terror financing since June 2018, but this is not the first time the country is under watch. It was grey listed from year 2008 to 2010 and then from 2012 to 2015.
Taliban, despite being persuaded time and again by the US to broker peace with the Afghan government, has not yet refrained itself from being involved in a series of attacks on security forces and civilians in the war-torn Afghanistan. Lately, 6 Afghan civilians lost lives as a roadside bomb ripped through the car they were traveling in near Dun district of Afghanistan. The attack comes while Afghan government releases over 490 Taliban prisoners in its effort to persuade the insurgent group for an intra-Afghan dialogue. We have a report.
In a latest incident of violence hitting the war-torn country, a roadside bomb ripped through a car, killing at least 6 people in Dan district of Afghanistan. The attack is being seen as another plot by Taliban insurgents to target civilians and get attention from Afghan government. Installing landmines and roadside bombs to inflict heavy casualties on Afghan forces and civilians has remained an often used method by Taliban insurgents in the past. A month ago, 7 children were killed and many were injured after one of the victims stepped over a landmine laid in southern Afghanistan's Ghazni province. According to the United Nations, almost 4,000 civilians were killed in Afghanistan last year, with another 7,000 wounded, making it the deadliest year to date for civilians in Afghanistan's conflict. Although Pak-backed Taliban militants have carried out a series of attacks on Afghan security forces and civilians of the country, Afghan government has always pursued a more peaceful way to settle the 17-year-long conflict.
That Pakistan has been supporting Talibanis. They have been supporting Haqqani network, which is operating in Afghanistan and destabilizing peace. So it will be seen whether Pakistan military or their intelligence agencies will cooperate on the issue and really appreciate the efforts of the Afghani government for a long-lasting peace, which I personally doubt, because the Pakistan has never stood on what he has promised. He has always been showing his double face. On one side, at the international forums, he has been saying, I'm a victim of terrorism, we don't support terrorism. Otherwise, he is supporting terrorism in his own soil, promoting them, funding them. So it is yet to be seen how Pakistan takes it.
The Afghan government, in its recent attempt to broker a peace accord with warring Taliban, was reported to have released nearly 490 Taliban prisoners.
The Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani has announced to release the Talibani, those who have been in jails. He has taken a very good decision, and he has accepted that he will be releasing about 900 people. Out of that, about 400 has already been released. It is a welcome move by not only the Talibanis but also US and other states have also welcomed this step, because this step will ensure a long-lasting peace if it works out. But it is yet to be seen whether it will really work out or not.
On the occasion of Eid al-Fitr, the President Ghani had announced to release over 887 Taliban prisoners, as a part of his efforts to persuade the insurgent group to engage in intra-Afghan dialogue.
نن د افغانستان ولس د خبرې چې 880 بندیان خلاصیږي د اختر په احترام باندې او د ولس د غوښتنې په اساس باندې.
But in a persistent denial to hold direct talks with the Kabul government, Taliban has been on a war footing against the establishment. It has ramped attacks on Afghan security forces, US troops and civilians of the country with support of its all-weather ally, Pakistan.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We will be back next week with more news, views and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at nwsa@ani.in.com. This is Surbhi Sharma signing off on the behalf of entire production team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.